Welcome back, Cal Oaks. Keith Greiser with you for Great Crossing and Scott County boys basketball 11th region quarterfinal. Coach Steve Page is going to present Malachi Marino with his 1,000-point commemorative ball. He's the second boy from the team to hit that number this year for his career. Vince Dawson, the third, being the other. They are both sophomores. Of course, we had a girl, Reagan Barrett, join that list. Rachel Smith got really, really close. If it hadn't been for injury, she would have hit that number too. Thank you for joining us, whether you're on the NFHS network or the YouTube platform or newsgraphic.com. We are pleased to bring this historic quarterfinal game to you. As we mentioned, the girls back in 2020 played at EKU, but this is the first time one of these playoff games has been in our town. And a big, big bipartisan crowd here tonight. Your starters for Great Crossing: Vince Dawson III, sophomore; Gage Richardson, the aforementioned Gage Richardson, sophomore. Looks like Christian Martin is going to start in place of Janias Burrell. Malachi Marino and Jeremiah Godfrey, the bigs, 6'11" and 6'7" respectively. For Scott County, senior Daquise Brown, super senior J.Z. Middleton, super senior Micah Glenn, super senior Nick Mosby, and Lamarion McGrath. He's got his best basketball ahead of him for SC. Looks like Janiyah is still in his sweats down there, at least the top half, so he will not be starting this one.
That's an interesting storyline. If they don't have Janias, that's their ball handler, distributor. He really pushes them on the break. He gets a ton of loose ball rebounds. He's like the third leading rebounder on the, or maybe fourth. I guess Vince is ahead of him too. But.
Not going to speculate, but he did shoot around, and I've seen this multiple times this year. Steve Page is very consistent with the rules, and if you're late to practice, if you're late for a game, you will sit for the start. He sat Vince Dawson III at least once, and Janias Burrell a couple of times. So that may be the case. The other thing Steve Page will tell you is I've got 6 starters. He's not shy to tell you that. He's not worried about which 5 he puts out there. Vince Dawson III, by the way, last time you all were with us, had a scary moment under the basket against Madison Southern. That was 2 weeks ago tonight. Rolled his ankle. Rolled it again or stepped on somebody's foot in the Franklin County game in the playoffs, but only missed a few minutes in that one and was tournament MVP of the 41st District playoff. 20 and 12 points and rebounds against Western Hills in that triple overtime classic. Scott County, they haven't rebounded, fair to say, like Western Hills has this year. They've had their moments where they've had troubles in that department. That's a key for them tonight, to find a way to keep Marino and Godfrey and Dawson from dominating the glass.
I was looking at the stats from their game against Frederick Douglass, and Frederick Douglass had 31 points off turnovers, and Scott County only had 7. So I think the turnovers are also going to be a big point of emphasis for Tim Glenn's team tonight. Got to take care of the basketball, make sure you don't give the other team easy buckets.
And the rebounds were darn near a 2-to-1 proposition in that game. The Scott County just got worked on the boards. As we said, cannot afford that tonight. Malachi Marino will jump it against Lamarion McGrath. We are just about set to go. Marino wins the tap to Martin, and we are underway. Martin lobs it to Dawson. Drop off to Godfrey, blocked by Daquise Brown. Here come the Cards. Brown to Glenn. Glenn tries to split the defenders. Marino knocked it out of his hands. It will stay with the Cardinals, who are in the black with the red trim. Warhawks in the white with the navy blue and Kelly green. Q over to Lamarion, now to Jay-Z, back to Daquise on the bird logo. Brown directing traffic. Cards always like to have that patient first possession. So what you're seeing from them is no surprise. Mosby will end that with a 15-footer to put his team on top.
Nick Mosby in the pick and pop is deadly. That's a nice play for them on the wing.
Dawson on the right wing, guarded by Brown. Daquise one of the better all on-the-ball defenders you will see. Lob into Godfrey. It was an errant pass as Glenn was the closest to it. Could not save it. It will stay with the Hawks. 7:11 to go here in the first quarter. 2-0 Cards on top. Richardson way out to Martin on the edge of the half court. Now Christian spins at the top of the key, gets it back to Richardson. Gage Richardson, 12 points, 14 points rather against Western Hills in the district final, but 5 of them were huge. He plays pass with Dawson. Great defense by Brown there. Richardson has it in the corner now. He will drive, float it up, in and out. Rebound comes down to Mosby. Cards off to the start they would have ordered up.
Scott County playing some really physical defense, hands all over, and not letting the Great Crossing have anything easy on those offensive sets.
Micah Glenn guarded by Dawson. Scott County leads 2-0 early. More than a minute and a half into this one. McGrath fumbled that pass from J.Z. Middleton. Probably should have had it. And it will go back to GC. Martin will run over to inbound it from the edge of the baseline. Richardson will bring it up. So Richardson playing point in the absence right now of Burrell, but he is sitting next to Vince Dawson, the second on the bench, and I would expect to see him shortly. Richardson with it. Godfrey setting the screen. Couldn't get anything out of it there. Dawson, now Glenn picks up the defense on Trey. Richardson, a corner three is short, but it will roll around. No good, but Marino gets a second chance, and he is fouled and will go to the line. The Warhawks, 2 minutes and 9 seconds in this one, looking for their first points. Malachi Marino will try to provide them. He had 13 against Western Hills the other night. We mentioned the Campbell brothers. Walter had 27 points and 25 rebounds in that one. It was a tough night for Malachi, but he came on at the end defensively. 11 blocks in that triple overtime win. Makes the first free throw here, 2-1 SC. Can't tie it up. Brown grabs the rebound. The Warhawks will back it off. And Middleton will cross the timeline. 5:40 to go, first quarter. SC on top, 2-1. Cold start for Great Crossing. Mosby has the 2 points on a jumper for County. Patient attack for SC so far. Mosby guarded closely by Dawson. He'll have to get it to Brown. Hard pass for Mosby. Glenn recovered it and tipped it out to McGrath for a three. Back rim, no good. Rebound tipped around to Dawson. Here come the Hawks. Martin drops it back off to Trey. 5 minutes to go, opening quarter. No field goals yet for the Warhawks. They trail 2-1. Dawson bounce pass too hard for Godfrey. It will go to the Cardinals.
Both teams run a lot of ball screens, and both teams defending it well, other than that one little hiccup where Great Crossing got caught in a trap and left Nick Mosby open for the jump shot. They've played the ball screen really well.
Tentative start as you might expect, although in Scott County's case, I think they're just trying to take what the defense gives them, and if they have to pass the ball around for 45 seconds or so, they'll do it.
They're very deliberate. They've run a couple of sets, and they've run their motion offense a little bit. Great Crossing's trying to hurry them up a little bit now. Double teams, and there's a steal.
Richardson gets a hand in there to knock it away from Mosby. Mosby dives on the floor after it. So do Dawson and Godfrey. It'll be a tie-up and go to Scott County. Still no substitutes for either team. 4:17 remaining first quarter. Cards have not trailed. Inbound to McGrath, now to Brown. Jayquees picks up his dribble, finds Mosby. Mosby over to Micah Glenn. Jay-Z Middleton directing traffic up top and now to McGrath. We are under the midway point of this first quarter. Marino got a hand in there. Glenn saved it for the Cardinals, and they will reset after he crosses the timeline. Glenn hands off to Middleton, guarded by Martin, who started this game in place of Janias Burrell. Passing it around like a hot potato are the Cards. Mosby dishes it inside to McGrath, kicks it out to Middleton. Mosby drive and kick to Brown. He will save the slightly errant pass. Patience is a virtue so far for SC. Brown gets the shot he wanted off the drive, but left it short. Godfrey with the rebound, quickly to Martin. 3:10 to play opening quarter, 2-1, Scott County.
And that's tough right there when you play that deliberately and then get the shot you want.
Marino drop off to Godfrey. That was started by Christian Martin, who got the ball into Malachi, and a nice soft touch from Malachi to Jeremiah for the finish. GC with its first lead. Ball knocked out of bounds. Will stay with the Cardinals. 3-2 your score. Great crossing on top. 2:51 to play in a fast-moving, deliberately paced opening quarter. There's been only one foul that was on the Cards, Nick Mosby.
This might end up being one of the tapes they send into the KHSAA in advocation of a shot clock when it's over, I think, Cal.
I'm not a big fan. I've always felt like it's the great equalizer in high school. But sometimes you got to be careful what you wish for in a case like that. And right now, I'm with you. 2:30 to play. But you know what? Scott County is doing what it needs to do. It doesn't want to get into a athlete-on-athlete confrontation. There is an in-and-out three from Glenn. Rebound Marino. Dawson comes away with it. Now Richardson. At the foul line, dropped it off to Marino. Gage thought about a deep three. Ball fake, now spins. Tried to Euro step, got it stolen away by Micah Glenn. 4-on-1, you drop off to Mosby. Blocked off the backboard by Marino. Rebound for Glenn. Nice dish to Mosby, but he's in traffic. He'll have to clear the lane. Scott County will reset under 2 minutes. Fans coming to life here. On both sides, there was a wild pass from Glenn, intercepted off the hop by Marino. Here comes Dawson. Godfrey all alone under the basket for the finish. Nope, he gets fouled. He'll have to earn it the hard way at the line with 1:44 to play. 3-2 your score. One field goal at each end. If we're going time of possession like football, Scott County would be about 4-1 right now. Godfrey rattles in the first free throw. He has 3 of the 4 points for the Warhawks, who lead it 4-2. And a second. So Jeremiah Godfrey's really shot well from the line in the playoffs, much higher than his regular season percentage. Steve Page was pretty clear the way his team shot well against Western Hills was what saved them. Said if we'd shot 58 to 60% like we did all year, we'd have been on the road in the region quarterfinals. McGrath for a deep three. Too strong. Rebound, Martin. That was the first time the Cards might have rushed into a shot. As they see the scoreboard, they see the Warhawks on a 5-0 run, trying to make it 7 or 8 here. Dawson guarded by McGrath. Down to 1:10 in the opening quarter. Dawson ball fake. Now Richardson tried to throw it into Marino. Tipped by Mosby and Brown. Intercepted by Brown. Back come the Cardinals. Minute to play.
Really good help side defense by Mosby right there.
And Scott County, I bet, will be content to take the final shot of the first quarter, judging from the first 7 minutes and 15 seconds we have watched. We might be home by 8:30. Brown, there's no count going on right now. He's just directing traffic. 30 seconds. Now Godfrey and Dawson will come out to trap. Brown will get it to Middleton, who finds Glenn. Warhawks will drop off. 15 seconds. Brown step back, now the drive. Dishes to Mosby, 10-footer, can't roll it in. Rebound Marino. Time will run out in this opening quarter with a 5-2 score, folks.
That was an interesting
What
one.
you got? What you got for me, Keith?
Well, I think it takes some discipline to do what Scott County's doing right now. They rushed the 1 3-pointer that McGrath took. It was probably a little quicker than they want. The rest of the time, they got good shots. That last shot there by Nick Mosby was a wide open 10-footer. They had a layup, a little runner by DeQuise that bounced in and out. I think that their strategy's working. I think Great Crossing has had some success when they went to double team to speed up Scott County. The hard part is when you play that way and then you finally do take a shot, you sometimes second guess yourself on, am I really supposed to be shooting this ball or should we be holding it longer? And anytime you doubt yourself when you're shooting the ball, the chances of missing go way, way up. What are the stats saying?
Well, the teams have combined to shoot 2 for 12. That hasn't helped, obviously. 3 turnovers each way. Rebounds are 6-5 in favor of the Warhawks. Jeremiah Godfrey has the only field goal for his team, 4 points. Marino with the other point. Mosby hit the first shot for the Cardinals, and since then, they have missed 6 in a row, including 3 threes. That's about it.
That's about it.
Tonight's Player of the Game awards, I'm authorized to present 2. We'll see how the game goes. Are presented by Galvin's. Galvin's on Main.
Burrell has checked in. Good to see Janias.
Didn't really get a chance to check him in that first quarter. There were not a lot of whistles and horns. Richardson for a spot-up 3. Hits the back rim, no good, but Marino strong with the rebound. Knocked out of his hands. Blocked by Glenn. Rebound by Brown. Glenn tries to drive the baseline, and he will get bumped and knocked to the floor, and the foul will be on the Warhawks and Jeremiah Godfrey. That's the first on the home team. Middleton quickly into Brown, finds Mosby right elbow, catch and shoot, rattles it home. Mosby has all 4 points for Scott County. It's a 5-4 game, 7:23 to play in the half. Top to top, Burrell to Richardson to Dawson. Back to Burrell. He's guarded by Glenn. Now Dawson on the wing for a 3. Front rim no good, and Godfrey reaching over the top. It'll go off of him as Mosby was in good position with the box out. 7:05 to play second quarter. Scott County can take the lead. McGrath, Brown. Wide open is Glenn. They're going to concede a 3. I'm not sure I would ever do that. I think that was a mistake. Somebody missed an assignment. Micah Glenn drained it for a 7-5 lead.
A great find by Brown and snapped that pass off with one hand, giving Micah plenty of time to get the shot off.
Burrell, floater from the baseline, way off the mark. Rebound Brown. Three-pointer for McGrath is good. 10-5 Cardinals. Don't let him hang around if you're Great Crossing. There is another miss by Burrell from the same spot. Rebound JZ.
I'll tell you what, Scott County has not given up many second chance points right now in this quarter either. Tim slowing them back down here. He got a couple of baskets back to back. He doesn't want it to get out of a pace that he's liking right now.
They have absolutely controlled and dominated the pace. McGrath wanted to take that 3 though. He didn't. Mosby with it. Guarded by Dawson. 10-5, Scott County. Dawson tries to force the issue. Mosby recovered, but threw it away to Godfrey. Godfrey up ahead to Dawson. Dawson kicked to Burrell, left baseline. He draws a crowd. Threw it away. Brown reached over Richardson and has an open layup. Q to make it 12-5. Timeout, Steve Page and Great Crossing. Scott County side of the arena going wild, and rightfully so.
What a great defensive back-to-back plays right there. A crazy good rebound by JZ Middleton just to fight for it. And then Daquise Brown jumping in the passing lane, tipping the ball to himself. And I'm surprised that they didn't try to pin that one off the backboard. I thought Trey Dawson might have had an angle on that one, but he let him have the layup. I think possessions are pretty much precious things, and you got to really take care of the ball right here. If you're Great Crossing, I know you want to speed them up, but you yourself, you want to make sure that you get the shot you want, because there are going to be so few possessions in this game. You're going to have a high efficiency level.
It's a 3-possession game right now. That feels like a lot. 5:01 to play in the half. Now, we have seen, and increasingly as the second half of the season has gone on, the Warhawks put in this situation. They have trailed early and trailed big to a bunch of different teams and had to fight their way back. Western Hills, Frankfort in the district, out of the district. It was a quick start for Madison Central, a quick start for Madison Southern, and on it went. It seemed like after Christmas, Great Crossing might have hit a little bit of a ceiling. I know that's the chatter around the 11th region. They wanted to come out and make a statement tonight. So far, it's been Scott County making the statement. Dawson spins and gets an easy deuce.
Really nice play out of the timeout.
And a one, as they will call the foul. I didn't hear the whistle there, as it is loud in here, and these are not noise-canceling headphones, as Keith asked me before the broadcast. Dawson will have a chance for an and one as he finally gets on the board at the 4:46 mark.
They were really intentional about curling him down to the post. They knew they had an advantage there, and he posted up strong to get that and one.
Cuts it back to 12-8, 4:38 to play, and we'll see what Scott County does. They will try to speed him up, will the Warhawks, as trapping were Dawson and Richardson, but Mosby found Middleton, who now finds Q Brown. 4 of the 5 starters have scored for SC in the 12-8 start. Those threes by Glenn and McGrath were huge. Glenn will go back behind the arc and find Daquise. Scott County in no hurry. Just so impressed with the amount of discipline, as you said, to get halfway through the second quarter and to have, it's hard to get high school kids to play this way, especially when you don't do it that often. Q, a little finger roll, but he gets his own rebound of arguably a bad shot. Now Mosby gets fouled. I thought maybe he lost it. They're going to say he had help. And it will be from Trey Dawson. Clock stops at 3:46. That's Dawson's first foul, the team's second. 3 on the Cardinals. 3:46 to play in the half. 12-8, Scott County leads it. Winner of this one advances to EKU on Saturday afternoon. Scott County's here in the tournament for the first time since winning it for the 4th consecutive year in 2020 when they beat Lexington Catholic. There's a good chance whoever wins this game will play Lexington Catholic on Saturday and try to wake up those echoes. Middleton over to Glenn. Glenn bounces it to Mosby for a corner 3, no good. Reaching over the top is Glenn, no call. Martin rebound. Here come the Warhawks. Still in single digits with 3:06 to go in the half. Dawson trying to put a stop to that and does. Trey has taken over here a little bit as he has the last 5 to cut it to 12-10.
I think they must have set a fire under him at the last timeout. He's come out much more aggressive after that timeout that Coach Page called.
And he is one that Coach Page sometimes has to remind to be aggressive and get to the rim because very few people can defend him there. McGrath got hurried and dropped it off to Brown. He'll get it back from Brown, and now Glenn looks over to his dad for some direction. Coach Tim Glenn directing traffic. His team a surprising 2-point lead. Here comes McGrath for 3. Too strong. Rebound Dawson, and now the Warhawks with a chance to tie or take the lead. Burrell drops it off to Martin on the arc. Air ball. Rebound Brown. And Great Crossing, with the low shooting percentage, kind of playing into the Cardinals' hands a little bit with the way they want to dictate things. Brown picks up his dribble, And now Tim Glenn has to run down all the way to the front of the Warhawks bench to get the attention of the officials for a timeout.
I don't know that I've seen a coach go that far past half court to get a timeout. Brian Sandlin, the experienced official from up in northern Kentucky, just kind of turned the other way, knowing that it's so loud in here that that's what he needed to do, I guess.
Of course, for these region tournaments, there's always an officials exchange. We do not have 11th region officials. Avoid all conflict of interest.
I think the Sandman does both 8th region and 9th region, so I'm not sure which one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know who's been represented here. I thought we had, I wasn't sure last night either for the girls. I thought they had Louisville officials there, but that may have also been Northern Kentucky officials. Great Crossing girls played very well for a half, did what they needed to do, and the key there was just making shots. They were up 36-34 at Douglas, and then the second half, Douglas, a couple of strong transfer players that they've had this year come on for them. Victory Sledge and Jermira Christian carried that team to victory, 71-60. Douglas looks like a threat to Franklin County, the three-time defending champions on the girls' side. Here in the boys' quarterfinals, a little bit of a surprise. I would say a lot of a surprise. This was 63-34 during the regular season. It's 12-10 the other way right now for Scott County as they have controlled the tempo. They led it by as many as 7 before a recent 5-0 run by Vince Dawson III. Bounce pass from Middleton, knocked away by Burrell. He was looking for Mosby. Inbound from in front of the Great Crossing bench. Nick Mosby will put it in play. He'll find McGrath. McGrath and Glenn with key threes in this quarter to put Scott County in a position to maybe take this lead into the locker room. They've got just a little over 90 seconds. They are in no hurry to shoot tonight. If you were just joining us, you probably could tell that from the score. Mosby to McGrath. Micah Glenn. Middleton. And there is the screen called on Glenn illegally as he tried to get in the way of Gage Richardson and got called for it. That's the Cardinals' fourth. .115 and counting in the second quarter. 12-10 SC. GC trying again to tie it up. Burrell elbow jumper, not good, but the rebound for Godfrey in traffic. Can't lay it up and in. And I'm telling you, Scott County is matching, maybe exceeding GC on the boards right now. McGrath went and got that one. Doing everything they have to do to pull the upset tonight. They lead 12-10, 45 seconds left in the half.
And on that last rebound, like you got Micah Glenn jumping up there, just smacking it back off the backboard again so that their team would have a chance to get the ball. Really, they're getting loose balls. It's impressive what they're doing discipline-wise right now and how hard they're playing on defense.
McGrath to Middleton. Middleton splits the defenders and Gage Richardson reached in. Steve Page wanted to travel on Jay-Z but won't get it. 19.5 seconds. Warhawks trailed at the half by 2 in the 41st district final. They could trail by 2 or more here unless they find a way to get the ball back. Scott County throws it into the backcourt. Brown goes to chase it. They will pressure him there. Brown over the top to Glenn. Glenn just has to beat Godfrey. He will fire it into Mosby. Mosby tried to go at Marino, lost the handle. Now 8 seconds. Mosby in trouble near the timeline, gets it to Brown. Brown drives to the foul line, passes it to Glenn from a tough angle on the right baseline. Count it. And the Cards appropriately maybe lead by a football score, 14-10 at the half.
Well, what a first half. I mean, what a disciplined first half by Scott County. It's going to be interesting to see how they respond in the second half. Steve Page will get his team, and I'm sure that they're going to do some pressure and more trapping and try to speed Scott County up. But that was a well-executed plan by the Cardinals right there. The funny part about it, I thought on that last shot, Janias had a nice 10-footer. But again, the style of play sometimes make players uncomfortable. And a shot that he's going to make that shot 90% of the time. But just the feel of we're only getting one shot, we're down by 4, and we've only scored 10 points in the first half, and you second guess yourself on should I be taking this shot or should we be getting it in even closer, sometimes causes you to miss those easy ones. But, man, what an execution by Tim Glenn's bunch.
Warhawks have been shockingly one and done on the offensive end. They've got 3 offensive rebounds, and they are getting out-rebounded by a Scott County team that doesn't out-rebound anybody. 11-10.
And they've done both things. They've been physical on blockouts, and they've released quickly to go team rebound so that when somebody is outmatched, there's another guy in there that's getting, if you tip it, it's not Gray Crossing getting it. It's the offside man from Scott County's bunch.
Scoring summary won't take long to give you. We'll give you Great Crossing first as they are down 14-10. Dawson with 5, Godfrey with 4, Marino with 1. Marino 4 rebounds and 1 block. Nobody else has more than 2 boards for the Warhawks. They are shooting 3 for 14. That is by far their lowest in years, if not ever, for a half. 5 turnovers each way. Cards are shooting quite a bit warmer at 40%, but it's their shot selection that's been key. They've taken very few bad ones. Micah Glenn with 5, Nick Mosby with 4. Glenn had the buzzer beater just now, also an open 3 early in the second quarter. McGrath hit a 3, and Brown has 2 points to go with 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. You said it, execution. The Cards are executing brilliantly, and they are 16 minutes away from an upset that would be heard around the state. But a long way to go.
There's a long way to go. Yeah, it's easy to get sped up, and they didn't let that happen in the first half, and they'll have to be even more disciplined in the second half because I would guess that Steve Page is going to trap them everywhere that they can go in the full court, in the half court, and everywhere in between to not allow them to take all time off the clock again in the second half. As far as I can remember, he only did 1 full court press, and that was a 2-2-1 that wasn't really designed to be a let's steal the ball in the full court kind of press. So I would guess he'll jump into that here in the second half, unless he goes to some sort of 1-3-1 half court trap where you're forcing double teams all over the floor.
Another one of our favorite sons is in an or else game tonight, and so far it's going well. Eastern Kentucky leads North Alabama 35-16. A couple of our favorite sons, 3 if you count the head coach, 4 if you count assistant Blake Harris. 4:47 to go in the first half. Michael Marino 6 points, Cooper Robb 3. The Scott Countyans on the court in that one. Rebounds 5 for Marino. That's a game that EKU lost at home in overtime late in the regular season, so they're coming out and making a statement early. But I hate to bring it up, but Georgetown College made a statement early last night, and they let it slip away. And so anything can happen in the postseason, and no lead is safe.
Yeah, glad to hear that EKU score. That's where I would be tonight if I was not here. I love watching them play. I don't know if you had a chance to read that article from Michael.
I couldn't be prouder if he were my own son.
Yeah.
He's just he's a better person off the court than he is on it. That's saying a lot. And it's also not a distinction I give away lightly, but to him it's a no-brainer. He is just as good as it gets. And Cooper Robb, too. I mean, 3.87 GPA, all conference, all academic in the ASUN. He is graduating, I would assume, with a master's degree very soon from EKU as he came back for his 5th year. So, guy that wants to go into the FBI when he's that's his ultimate career goal. So we raise him well here. And, of course, A.W. Hamilton, the coach. He's done some things that nobody has done at EKU in a long time. They put the double-digit conference wins that he's had 3 times in his first few seasons there is something that hasn't happened for any coach in ages down there at Baptist Health Arena. That's where both of these teams are striving to go on Saturday afternoon. See if we can get some out-of-town scores. There's a lot of important stuff going on tonight.
Cards, Warhawks, Cardinals, Warhawks, Cardinals, Warhawks, Cardinals.
You know, you had mentioned the Great Crossing girls team. I was talking to Coach Matt Walls up here just before we took the radio and went on air. And he was pleased with how his team did this year. Said they were up and down some and had some ebbs and flows, but he's super excited. Said 26 kids tried out, 21 stayed, and only 6 of them are moving on. He's got a lot left in the stables to come back next year. He's excited about the future. Good to talk to Matt. Love him and his family, and glad that things are going well for him.
Lex Cath 40, Madison Southern 30 at the half.
That's a lot of points. 40 points in the first half is a lot of points.
That is, compared to what we're seeing here. Madison Central up 10 on Western Hills. That was with 4:57 to go in the second quarter.
I bet if that fella from Western Hills is as big as everybody says he was, and that
he is a load.
The fella from Madison Central is no small fella either.
3:26 to go in the second quarter at Frederick Douglass. The Broncos lead LCA 21-12. So that gets you through the region at this point.
Warhawks, car, truck, car. I said cards. I didn't say Cardinal. All right, here is your winner.
We've got all the half-court stuff. Pageantry, contests, getting the crowd fired up here.
It's a great crowd tonight, probably 3/4 full. We got both bands here tonight, both bands from Scott County and Great Crossing. Always great to have the bands here. Adds so much to the atmosphere. And there was a buzz in the place tonight. There were people standing along the railing on both sides, upper level and lower level. It's great to see.
A little longer halftime than usual tonight. We don't have much to talk about in terms of what we've seen on the court other than the score itself, which if you're just tuning in, if you're listening and on the YouTube platform or newsgraphic.com and can't see the game, you're not an NFHS subscriber, well, hope you're sitting down. Scott County 14, Great Crossing 10, 16 minutes into this one. They have led it basically all the way. GC had a little run to go ahead 5-2. Scott County had the next 8 points, including threes by Glenn and McGrath early in the second quarter. Dawson had a personal 5-0 run to cut it to 12-10, and then at the buzzer, Micah Glenn hit from the baseline. I just about summarized all the made shots in the game as there have been plenty missed. The teams combined for 9 for 29, which is still not a high volume. So as you might expect, Scott County has tried to control the tempo and has done so successfully.
Yeah, you know, they haven't just stalled for stalling. They've stalled until they were going to get a good look,
right,
which is very different than just playing four quarters.
No, nobody's standing there with the ball on their hip. I mean, Great Crossing is playing defense, and to Scott County's credit, they've sped them up a little bit, like you said, but they've found the open man. And the way Great Crossing traps, there always is an open man in that half court. Most of the time, anyway. There's definitely a buzz on the side of the arena we are on as we are behind the Scott County fans, and the Great Crossing fans don't even want to get up to go eat. They're probably not hungry right now, as it has been a surprising start, to say the least. Winner of this game, as we said, on Lexington Catholic's side of the bracket. Catholic winning by 10 at the half. Reese Potter, the 11th Region Player of the Year, headed from Miami of Ohio. 7-foot center. He and Marino went at it in a great battle at the end of January over at Franklin County. Catholic won that game by about 10. That was their largest lead of the entire night, as they Great Crossing kind of had to foul at the end. just kind of played from behind all night within 3, 4, 5 points. Probably in the back of some minds, thinking ahead to that one, but you can't overlook a team that you beat 63-34 during the season in the 11th region playoffs. It's just too tough. Everybody's too good, no matter what the record says, no matter what prior performance says. People talk about, they say, we're all 0-0, and you go, okay, yeah, I got you. But I think the more years I'm here, the more I realize that's the truth.
Well, and I remember you talking about, for a while, the visiting team always won these games. Isn't that right? For the beginning
For
of the
a
series?
long time. Yeah. Up until about last year, that was the case. And then Great Crossing finally got one here. But you're right. There has been a little bit of a stymie over the home team in this rivalry. Great Crossing is forever undefeated at Scott County. Not only are they undefeated against the Cardinals, they won the Billy Hicks Classic over there. They won a consolation game a couple of Toyota Classics ago. I think they're 6 or 7-0. They won at they won a game against Louisville Moore in the Dan Cummins Classic this year. So they've yet to lose it. Maybe they should have requested that this game be played at Scott County. You raise a good point there. I do like that we have a little, I emphasize little distance from the band here that we don't have at Scott County, because I love having the bands in the house, but it becomes hard to hear yourself.
Being behind them is a big key.
Yeah, I think when they are off to your left or right side directly, it's a little rough. We want to thank you all for joining us this season. I've lost track of the number, but I believe it's in the low 20s of number of broadcasts or number of games that we've done at least. We've had a couple of double headers on the district side of things as they play the boy-girl format in the 41st quite often. I want to thank you all for being a part of it. We also had a great football season, and we hope you'll join us again here on the Bird's Nest Broadcasting Network in the fall. Great Crossing has already released its football schedule, and I think Scott County will follow suit here pretty soon, as I've seen most of the schools putting theirs out across the state. Of course, in different classes now, so they will play the second week of the regular season, and then most all of us can just root for everybody after that. Be happy, as they will not see each other in the playoffs for the foreseeable future. Scott County leads it here by the very football-like score of 14-10. I bet there will not be many boys quarterfinals games around the state. We'll have a total of 24 points. And yes, there will be some people that will come out in favor of a way to keep that from happening. But I don't know. I like the fact that you give an underdog a little more of a puncher's chance by letting them control the tempo, because as you've pointed out, it's very hard to do it. And if you can do it for 32 minutes, the way Scott County has done it for 16, then you deserve some credit, deserve some opportunity to go on.
Yeah, I've been anti-shot clock my whole career.
I just don't think it's necessarily for the high school level. I can appreciate it for the pro level. The pro level is entertainment. I can appreciate it for the college level. I don't even care for it at the college level. I loved that Villanova team in '85 that wasn't regulated by a shot clock and won the national title at Rupp. So, I'm never going to be the guy that campaigns for that.
And I think in addition to taking away a chance like Scott County's given themselves tonight, it causes you to shoot bad shots.
Yeah.
And I just, as a purist of the game, I like for you to work your way to get a good shot. And so I don't know that we need to put a rule in that negates that opportunity.
Now, I think there are some parts of the country where offense has struggled more so than it does in Kentucky, and they look at a halftime score where the teams are not slowing it down and they see 14-10. Some people that maybe just read it in the paper say, well, we should have a shot clock. It's like, a shot clock wouldn't have made any difference. In fact, the score might have been lower.
Yes.
So we are just about set to go with second half action. We don't know how much action there will be, but it will be some form of action as these two teams battling neck and neck for a spot at EKU at Baptist Health Arena on Saturday. McBrayer Court, Alumni Coliseum, whatever you want to call it now. the venerable arena that will be refurbished after this year. I don't know what they're going to do for the 11th region next year. There's a lot of talk about whether it'll be Berea College, which has very limited seating, or maybe a place like Dunbar or something like that. That wherever the biggest 11th region gym is, I guess. It's kind of a shame where we have a D1 facility, college in our region, a couple of them, that we can't find a way to remedy that situation. Scott County ball to start the second half. Brown, McGrath, Mosby all touch it early. Now McGrath guarded by Richardson.
And a quick trap by Great Crossing, and Brown really handled it well.
McGrath open three, back rim no good, rebound Dawson. McGrath's the one guy maybe you're going to have trouble with the patience aspect of what Coach Tim Glenn wants to do tonight. As he is a catch and shoot three person extraordinaire. Burrell missed that shot several times in the first half. He makes one here from about the same spot Glenn hit from at that end to cut this to 2. Middleton to McGrath for another corner three. That's no good. Hustling for the rebound is Micah Glenn, kicking it out to Daquise Brown. Scott County nursing the lead. Middleton for 3. No. Rebound Dawson. Here come the Warhawks with a chance to tie or go ahead. We've said that a few times. Dawson, the drop off to Marino, ties it up. An easy finish off the window. 6:50 to go in the third quarter. Mosby splits the defenders, finds Middleton. This game tied for the first time in a long time.
So Great Crossing didn't go to the full court press. They went to the 1-2-2 half.
Mosby's short jumper is too strong. Rebound Marino. Warhawks have not led since it was 5-4. Burrell, shake and bake from 17, no good. Rebound Mosby. And McGrath knocked off his feet. Fouls on Marino, and that will be his first.
McGrath he didn't block Malachi out with his rear end. He blocked him out facing him. Malachi didn't like it too much and just shoved him to the floor. And here comes the trapping defense. 3/4 court this time by Great Crossing.
Burrell gets a hand in there, but Middleton recovers. Jay-Z to McGrath in the corner. Now Middleton gets it back. He is confronted by Burrell and Godfrey. Mosby left elbow jumper is good. Scott County reclaims the lead. Into Dawson. Up and under to knot it at 16.
Vince playing really strong right now.
Offense is coming to life here. And Mosby throws it away. The score in the first half, while we emphasized the tempo, it was not all that. Great Crossing shot 3 for 14. Burrell, nobody paying attention. Now Marino finds it. But McGrath gets a hand in there. Mosby came away with it. Burrell tried to take it back. It will be Cardinal ball. 5:20 to play, third quarter. Warhawks had a chance at an easy bucket there, and nobody was, they were asleep at the switch. Now a little extended pressure. Brown to Middleton. Godfrey got a hand in there. Did it go off Jay-Z? Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
Off Middleton's knee with 5:07 to play in the period. Good defense by Godfrey. Out of bounds under, usually a good play for the Warhawks. Richardson will find Dawson for the easy go-ahead deuce.
They do so well with those out-of-bounds under plays, and Godfrey is often the recipient of it.
And usually he is painfully open. I'm not sure how they get away with it every time, but they do. Partially the reason he gets open is there's an offensive foul is because you've got those big targets that draw so much attention. And Tim Glenn wants a 30. Offensive foul on Lamarion McGrath, pleading his case. He's not getting far right now. It will be Great Crossing ball out of the huddle. They lead by 2. Their biggest lead of the night was 5-2. It's now 18-16.
Good timeout by Timmy Glenn right there. You know, you can feel the momentum shifting. Great Crossing has come out of the halftime locker room with a purpose. Vince Trey Dawson playing super strong on offense, going to the basket with a chip on his shoulder. They've had a lot of success already in this half.
The Warhawks lead it for the first time since very early.
The 1-2-2 trap three-quarters court has been effective, not necessarily at getting them steals, but at causing Scott County to shoot quicker than they were in the first half.
GC had that 5-2 advantage at the end of 8 minutes. Scott County didn't waver from what it was doing and roared back with 10 points consecutively to take command, but now Great Crossing asserting itself as Marino throws it down off the dime from Richardson.
Really a nice entry pass there.
And now they are hurrying up the cards as Richardson's pressure gets Marino a steal. Dawson ahead to Burrell. Burrell takes it to the rim. Good. Biggest lead of the night for GC, and the bench is into it, getting the fans exhorted. Glenn will try to kill that momentum with a three, and he will get pushed down and will go to the line for it.
Man, that's about as loud as I've heard it in here on that shot by Burrell. I don't know how he wormed that one up. He hung in the air, double and triple pumped, kissed it off the glass, and the place went crazy. Micah knocks the first one down.
Should be two more. Can't make the second, back rim. Two out of three ain't bad for Michael Glenn, 22-18.
Cards come out with a little 2-1-2 press.
Burrell to Dawson. They play pass midway through the third quarter. Low scoring 11th region boys quarterfinal, 22-18. Great Crossing leads it. Richardson trying to work the ball into Marino, and a foul on the Cardinals. They'll get McGrath again as he extends his arms and says, "What for?" That's his second in a short window, and the more you do that, the less benefit of the doubt you're going to get. And guess what? There's a technical. That could be a game changer as 2 free throws and the ball, plus his third personal. And we'll see Eli Moody for the first time tonight, for any extended action anyway. Dawson to the line. Makes the first. 5 points this quarter, 10 on the night to lead all scorers right now. Trey makes them both.
Well, you hate to say that. He must have said a magic word because Sandlin didn't wait at all. He protested a second, but he wasn't being flamboyant. But then when he walked away from the referee, he must have said something he shouldn't have. Hate to see that in a regional game.
Especially where the window of opportunity is starting to close on them a little bit. Godfrey with the putback. Marino third chance. Godfrey fourth opportunity. No. Dip 5. And Mosby is down hard under the basket. 5 misses in the paint from the Warhawks. I don't know if he got poked in the eye. That's kind of where he's reaching. He'll get a hand from the crowd as he gets up, shakes it off.
Looks like he might have got popped right in the nose.
That could be it too. As long as there's no blood, he'd be okay to stay out there. He's checking now. He'll wipe up the perspiration, and we will get back to action. Middleton inbounding to Brown. Cards down 6, but they are certainly in this one. 3:33 to go, third quarter. Gallagher, Noah Gallagher. We haven't seen much of him tonight. Micah Glenn from the left elbow. He will draw the foul. Micah's doing a good job right now drawing the contact and getting to the line and stopping the clock, which is a triple crown of good things for his team. Cards trail by 6, trying to cut it even closer. They have led this one by as many as 7 tonight. 12-5 early. Glenn makes the free throw, his third of the period. He has 8 to lead SC. Makes them both, 24-20. Pressure from the Cards. Richardson finds Burrell over the top. Into Marino, can't finish as a block from Moody. And a rebound from Middleton. But now Godfrey gets a hand in there again and forces another turnover. How about Jeremiah Godfrey tonight in this third quarter? He's done that twice now in the backcourt.
He's so good at moving his feet and using his long arms to tip passes.
And Steve Page loves using him in that situation because of that. Dawson on the out-of-bounds under. Rolls it in.
They score almost every time on out-of-bounds under plays. It's
long
amazing.
pass, and Moody fumbles it out of bounds. The Cards have the defense beat, but just dropped it. Slipped through some slippery fingers into the cheerleading section. Now Burrell up quickly. Warhawks matching their largest lead, trying to build on it. 26-20, 2:49 to play, third quarter. Burrell directing traffic. Marino with it up top. Fires to Godfrey. Spins on the right low post and uses some leverage, and he'll get called for the offensive foul. Gallagher checks back in.
Strong post move there, but Mosby moved his feet, stayed in front.
It's been a 16-6 run since the half for the Warhawks. They outscored their entire first half in about 4 minutes. There's a steal by Burrell. We're down to the 2:20 mark now. Burrell, Richardson, dishes to Dawson for 3. Yes. Trey Dawson has come to play in the second half. He's got 11 since intermission, 16 on the night. The lead is 9. Good ball movement quickly from Brown to Mosby. Now Gallagher trapped, though, and loses it. Defense from Burrell and Marino, and Great Crossing has ramped up the active hands here in the second half, which certainly was one of my expectations of adjustments they would make, is that they were going to have to find a way to speed Scott County up in the backcourt before they get on this side of the Bird logo.
And they've had success with the trap in the corner, too. Anytime Scott County has advanced the ball on the press all the way down to the corner, it's led to a trap, and not good things for the Cards, very good things for the Warhawks.
Just that length that GC has makes it tough for Scott County to contend with that. Richardson catch and shoot 3, in and out. Rebound, Moody. Moody lost it. Did Godfrey force another turnover? No, they'll say Scott County ball. 21 got a hand in there. McGrath will check back in with the 3 fouls. Remember, the technical counts as a personal. .90 seconds to play in the third period. Scott County in a little bit of a danger zone here, down 9 all of a sudden. Glenn steps back to the foul line for a jumper that's a line drive off the front rim. Burrell on his way to the other rim, can't get it to fall, but he'll go to the line as he draws the contact from Middleton. Nope, they'll call it on Mosby.
It looked like Godfrey might have blocked Glenn's shot down here from behind with those long arms again.
Mosby with 3 fouls to join McGrath, so a little bit of foul trouble cropping up for SC as well. Burrell can't get it to a double-digit lead, but they'll have another opportunity. Janias Burrell did not start the game, didn't appear until the second quarter. He's come on strong here in the third with a couple of buckets in transition, and there is the free throw to make it 30-20. Brown over the top of the pressure to Glenn. Bobbled it for a moment. Now finds McGrath in the corner. They'll trap him. Into Brown. Nice bounce pass to Mosby for 2 to cut it to 8. Nick Mosby's got 8 points. His team is down 8. Last minute of the third quarter. Burrell signaling.
There's a difference when McGrath gets the ball in the corner and he's confident enough to be able to attack out of it than some of the other guys that have kind of put it on their
Dawson drive, floater no good. Marino rebounds the air ball. Can't get the second chance to fall, but he draws the foul. Now that is 4.
No, they called it on Brown.
No, they didn't. I saw 11 and 23 right there. It's the second on Brown. That's a break for the Cards. Marino will shoot 2 free throws to try to get this back to 10. 44 seconds, clock frozen remaining in the third quarter. Marino drops the first. 6 points for Malachi, who has 1,000 career points, closing in on 1,000 career rebounds, over 300 blocks, 2 years left. 8 high Division I offers. Makes both free throws here to get it back to a 10-point lead. 32-22. Brown to Glenn, shoots from 17, short. Tip, rebound. Cardinals collide, and Burrell comes away with it. Burrell on the run, up and under. And one! Janias is just so good on the run like that, and he high-fives Trenton Pigg and others in the front row over there of the kettle.
He has such good body control on his finishes.
Some kids try to do that. They'll try to dry the contact and they'll miss the layup. But Janias, more often than not, will get the hoop and the harm. The soup and the sandwich, as our good friend Gary Ball says. He rolls it in. 35-22. Burrell with 8 this quarter. Dawson with 11 this period. The lead is 13. Middleton for a deep 3. No good. All great crossing right now. Marino with the board. Burrell tiptoes across the timeline. 1 shot for the Warhawks. 10 seconds. Richardson gets bumped by Glenn. That's an easy call. That'll be the 7th of the half on the Cardinals, and it'll be bonus the rest of the way. Richardson will shoot with 8 seconds remaining.
Principal Joy Lusby walking by saying hello. Always good to see Principal Lusby here.
Indeed it is. Sure, Principal Gabe Hart is in the house as well. Does a wonderful job at Scott County. I saw Coach Helton, the assistant principal and AD, sitting over there claiming his spot early. All the dignitaries in the house. Richardson left the second one on the rim after sinking the first. 36-22. Brown trying to push the tempo as he lost track of the clock, I think. Now finds Mosby. They're not going to have time to shoot the 3. All great crossing in that quarter. It was a 26-8 period that puts them up 36-22.
Well, really a nice adjustment by Steve Page coming out of the second half locker room, going to that 1-2-2 3-quarter court press and forcing Sky County to play, to shoot quick, and it just wasn't an option to pass the ball around. They came out of the man and went to that pressing, trapping zone, and it changed the ball game. You also had some mental adjustments where you had Vince Dawson and others just decide to get really physical and take the ball to the basket strong. They got much better shots in that third quarter than they had been getting in the first half. It'll be interesting to see how Scott County responds here. Down 14, 8 minutes to go in their season.
We got some stats here. Things heated up dramatically. 9 for 8. Maybe not as much as they would like to. They missed a lot down inside, but still 9 for 18 in that period. A higher volume of shots. They took 4 more shots in that period than they did in the entire first half. Dawson was 16 so far. Burrell with 8. Glenn 9. Mosby 8 for the Cardinals. Turnovers went from 5 to 13 for the Cardinals in that quarter.
Yeah.
So 8, a snowman on the scorecard, as it were, for Scott County.
Of the 9 for 18 from the Warhawks, 5 of them misses were on one trip when they got all those offensive rebounds back to back to back to back.
Warhawks in control, which they weren't until the last 8 minutes. Now it's 36-22. Richardson for a three to bring the house down. Can't get it to fall from the right corner, but Burrell hustles for the rebound, finds Godfrey. No. Rebound comes to Mosby. They are just not converting inside the way we're accustomed to seeing them, are the Warhawks. Backdoor cut for Glenn for two. Nice dime from Brown to get it back down to 12.
Micah just snuck behind the zone defense there and found the open spot. Nice assist.
36-24 your score. 7:09 remaining in this 11th region boys quarterfinal. The winner goes to EKU Saturday at 3 to play probably Lexington Catholic. We'll get a score update on that as soon as we can. Burrell drives, kicks. Richardson for three. Yes, sir. Gage Richardson's first three-pointer of the night. It's a 15-point lead with 6:53 to play.
Warhawks called this timeout. I think Coach Page just wants to get them set, make sure that they stay focused up 15. You want to make sure you don't loosen the reins. Really nice kick out that time by Janice to find Gage. Good to see Gage hitting the three. I think that's the game changer down the stretch this season for the Warhawks. If they can open up the middle by Gage being that three-point threat that we all know he is, I think they can go a long, long way.
Douglas 50, LCA 37 at the end of three quarters. After three in Richmond, Madison Central 64, Western Hills 35. An impressive performance by the Indians. And Lex Cath leads 53-44 over Mad South with 8 minutes to play. Chalk prevailing right now. And it will be a heck of a Final Four doubleheader on Saturday if that holds. Or even if it doesn't. There's a steal for Burrell. Burrell ahead to Dawson. Stops, gets his footing, lays it in. GC running away with it now, 41-24. Three for Glenn is good. Micah Glenn, if this is his final high school game, has gone out with a bang. He's got 14 of the 27. But right now, GC in control of its destiny with the ball and a now spacious lead. There's a steal, though, by Glenn. He has not given up. Micah lays it in, 41-29, 5:52 to go. 7 quick ones this quarter from Micah. This is another Warhawk tendency we've seen over the years, is to get that big lead and then let off the gas. Can't afford to do it here.
I was going to say they decided to be deliberate and immediately got it stolen.
Burrell, floater, no good. Gets his own rebound, puts it up, in and out. Rebound, Marino stripped away by Glenn. Chance to get it 10 or closer for the Cards. Don't go away. Glenn for three. Front rim, no good. Gets his own rebound. Drive. Has the ball fake over Dawson and puts it home. Micah Glenn with 9 in the fourth in the first 2 minutes and 51 seconds. And the Cards have got it back to 10.
What a gutsy performance by the super senior. I know it's a special moment for Tim to coach his son, and you see him battling like that to the very end. 5 minutes left, down 10. You got a chance. The Great Crossing came out of that last timeout and decided they wanted to take a little time, be a little bit more deliberate. And you can see how difficult it is. It's hard to do when you're a high school kid to be able to be that deliberate and take the time. Very often ends up in a turnover or a missed shot.
Hard to change the stripes on a tiger or the spots on a leopard. Or the wings on a Warhawk. They want to fly down the court and do what they do best. The tempo has been sporadic in this game, to say the least. It was a snail's pace of a first half, and then the Warhawks sped it up in the third quarter, got that big lead. But now a 7-0 run, all on the shoulders of Micah Glenn, who has 9 this quarter. Has it back down to 10 points. Middleton and Brown with the defense. Burrell walking it up. Three for Dawson from in front of the kettle is no good. Rebound Brown. Queese to the rim. 8-point game.
What a take.
The former Warhawk transferred last year. Didn't become eligible till the playoffs. Had a great football season. Has had a good game tonight to keep his team in it. 9-0 run. The lead is down from 17 to 8. And again, the Warhawks will try to slow it down and get the shot they want. Backdoor, Godfrey, tough angle, and one. Richardson with the assist.
Yeah, really nice skip pass by Gage right there, and then a catch and gather and get yourself an and one by Godfrey.
Front rim, no good. And a quick take by Q to go to the line. Foul is on Dawson. 4:07 left. Brown makes the first, 43 to 34. Reset the foul situation. Cards have committed 8, so it's a bonus for GC right now. 5 for the Warhawks this half. Brown makes both. 8-point game once again. Burrell deliberately bringing it up against Brown and Middleton. Now over to Richardson. Richardson will speed it up just a little bit and find Dawson. Dawson to an open Burrell. Floater is good. That's where Janias is at his best.
He was looking to throw the lob to Malachi all the way, but they never came to him, so he knocks it down.
Micah Glenn airball this time. Rebound Richardson. .333 to play. 45-35. Warhawks have not had an easy time with the Cardinals, but they are trying to punch their ticket to Richmond on Saturday. Richardson bumps into Glenn. Now finds Dawson. Into Marino. Stripped by Middleton out of bounds. Stays with the Hawks. They just have not been able to get the ball to Marino. Cards have done a good job preventing that.
Yeah, their help side defense has been really good tonight.
Out of bounds under. We've seen this be profitable for the Warhawks. Now Steve Page wants a timeout. 3:16 to play. 45-35 your score.
I don't think they ran that out of bounds play correctly, and Coach Page knows how often they've scored off of these out of bounds unders. He wanted to get a good execution here with 3:15 left to try to go up 12. Didn't run it right the first time, so we'll call a timeout and try it again.
If at first you don't succeed. With 4:31 left, Central up 74-46 on Hills. Madison Southern hanging around, down 59-50 with 4:40 to play at Catholic. And in the second half, EKU nursing that lead over North Alabama. Up 16 at last check. Burrell finds Dawson. 3 minutes. Dawson gives to Richardson. Chased by Middleton. Finds Burrell. Into Marino. Mosby picks him up. finds Godfrey for the easy lay-in on the other side.
It's a nice finish.
Jeremiah Godfrey with 8, so it's been tough for the big guys to get it done, but they've combined for 14. Mosby with a quick catch and shoot 3 to get it back to single digits. 2:26 to go. Timeout on the floor. It'll be the Cards timeout. They'll have 1 left if the scoreboard is correct. Warhawks will have 2 from this point.
Yeah, I wonder if Tim's going to go to some sort of a hack-a-shack here where he puts them on the line for the last 2.5 minutes. But he's got several guys in foul trouble, so he might not be able to go to that strategy. But
that is true. You've got McGrath, Mosby, definitely in a deep situation there. Well, we've gotten what any of us who are maintaining an unbiased approach could have wanted, which is a competitive game all the way through. Both teams have played hard. Both teams have had their moments of excitement. And in the next 2:24, we'll decide who goes on. Great Crossing's in a good spot right now, leading by 9. But Scott County is right there as well, and Marino will get the finish to put GC back to 11.
Nice unselfish play there by Vince.
Beautiful ball movement. Dawson with the dish to Malley. McGrath to Mosby. Hook partially blocked maybe by Marino, who gets the rebound. Now under 2 minutes. Great Crossing looking to win in the quarterfinals for the second consecutive year at home. Last year it took overtime against Madison Central. Burrell missed, but guess who? Malachi Marino for the putback jam to probably put an exclamation point on this one. Glenn not done. He'll take a 3, in and out, rebound, put back Mosby. 51-40, 90 seconds to play. No hurry for Janias Burrell as he tiptoes, now throws it across the timeline to Dawson. Dawson guarded by McGrath. He shakes him off. 75 seconds. 11-point lead, and Scott County's got a foul soon. Richardson, dish to Moreno. Couldn't dunk it home, but draws the foul and will go to the line. 1:06 to play. Nick Mosby's 4th.
That was a nice possession by Warhawks. They took some time off the clock, got the exact shot they wanted.
Marino missed the first one, makes the second. Minute left, just over a minute. Now we tick down to a minute, and Mosby draws the contact. And we'll stop the clock right at 60 seconds. Clock being stopped is the best friend of the Cardinals right now, but they need some steals and some shots. Mosby gets one back, 52-41. He'll have another. We will have 2 players of the game tonight, courtesy of Galvin's, as Mosby makes the second. For Great Crossing, Vince Dawson the third. For Scott County, Micah Glenn. Want to congratulate them. Want to congratulate Micah Glenn, if this is it, unless Scott County has a miracle comeback here. Congratulate him and Jay-Z Middleton and Nick Mosby and Daquise Brown on a great career. Warhawks probably going to have to make some free throws to put it away. Martin in the game. He was 6 for 6 against Western Hills, so that explains his presence right now. Richardson almost threw it away. Dawson draws the bump. That's on Micah Glenn. 3 on Micah. Clock stops at 46 seconds. And Trey tiptoes the line. Makes the first, 11-point lead. Douglas is going to beat LCA. Central is going to beat Hills. Catholic game was still in the balance. This one getting close. Dawson makes one of two. Glenn for three. In and out. Tip from Richardson to Burrell. Burrell is fouled by Glenn. That's 4 on Micah. 34.1 seconds remain. The final 2 minutes of this one, taking longer than the first quarter did, which often is the case in any playoff game, regardless of the tempo. Is Great Crossing is going to have to remedy this free throw situation. It comes and goes. They had a good night. Western Hills, I believe they were 15 of 21. Tonight, they've been on about that 1 for 2, and now Burrell misses 0 for 2. McGrath for 3. No. Rebound Burrell. He will send it to Marino, drop off to Burrell. They won't have to shoot again unless there's a foul. They will come at Dawson. Clock winding, 10 seconds. And Tim Glenn says that's it. Your final score from Great Crossing, Warhawks 53, Cardinals 42. Great Crossing goes to 28-5 and will play most likely Lexington Catholic at 3 p.m. on Saturday at EKU's Baptist Health Arena. I'll tell you what, Great Crossing survived the scare, Keith.
Yeah, we got what we wanted when we said at the very beginning of the game. Both teams play really hard and may the best man win. Great Crossing was the best team. They came out and they got the win, but man, what a fight in Scott County tonight. It was good to see them to play and give everything that Great Crossing wanted tonight.
Vince Dawson, 19 points, or Galvin's player of the game for Great Crossing. Micah Glenn with a team high 18 for Scott County. He is the Cardinals' Galvin's player of the game. That's it for us. I want to thank Keith Greiser, my broadcast partner, Derek Varney, who did most, if not all, of the Scott County games. James Scoggin, Mike Scoggin, Spencer Mahone. Got lots of help throughout the season. Also DT Wells, who pulls this all together and makes it possible. I'm merely Cal Oak saying good night, God bless. Your final score from the 11th Region quarterfinals. Great Crossing 53, Scott County 42. See you on Saturday down at EKU, everybody.